Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Kendra Plays The Sims, and for today's video, I'm just going to be talking about the 10 things that I noticed in the life and death reveal trailer. So if you're interested in learning more and just hearing me talk more about this upcoming pack, go ahead and stay tuned. But first things first, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel, that way you always see my featured content. And let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I noticed is that we're going to get a new world, of course, and we always get one with a new expansion pack, but I'm really interested in seeing what this one is going to look like for us. I'm really hoping that it's not bland. I hope that it's fun, and I hope it's interactive, and I really hope that we have some new rabbit holes to go down when it comes to some of these worlds, because that's one thing that I think The Sims is missing, is like the rabbit holes, being able to go off and do something interesting, or being able to do a challenge or an activity associated with a world. I think that would be really amazing. So I'm hoping that these lots and everything look how they're supposed to look, and I hope they give us enough slots to be able to place some more houses and things like that, maybe some funeral homes. I don't know. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what we could do with this world. The second thing that I noticed was this interaction right here, where you can actually have a tarot reading. And he actually gets his card read, and she talks about death in some capacity, because he gets upset, and so does the daughter as well. So I'm assuming that you're going to be able to go up to a tarot reader at an event maybe, and maybe get your cards read. And I'm wondering too if these interactions with these tarot card readers are going to be accurate. Like, if they predict death, are you really going to die? That's what I'm interested in seeing. And I think it's going to be really fun to see what this looks like in the game. And I'm wondering too if you can actually become a tarot card reader, or if that's just something that you're just going to be able to do. So that is the second thing that I noticed. So the third thing that I noticed was we're going to be able to get wakes and funerals. And that's just based on these 3 still images that we just saw. And I'll let you look at them again. This very first one, as you can see, you have the tables and the chairs, you have the podium, you also have a casket, and you've got like the picture of the Sims, all that kind of stuff. And even in the background, you see that Reaper picture. But I think you're going to be able to have a new event where you can host a funeral, and then you can have other Sims come. So I'm thinking that it's going to be a new event. And this one is outside. So this one even has cannons and the flowers. So I'm thinking some of these smaller things we're going to be able to get in the game as well. So as you can see too with this last one, it kind of more so reminds me of a wake, but you can see the urn in the background with the flowers, the sitting area, the podium where the Sims can go up and talk is the most interesting to me. So I'm interested to see what these wakes and these funerals look like, and what it looks like in the game, and if it actually works too. So the fourth thing that I noticed is these new interactions that we have. And as you can see, like the little pats on the back, the paying respects, pouring one out for a Sim. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see what this looks like in the game when you actually have your Sims consoling others, mourning, talking about other Sims, especially while you're at the funeral itself. What's that going to look like? And before and after, so like when you find out a Sim passes, can your partner console you because of it? Or even after, what that looks like, or during the funeral. So now I think we're going to have a lot more interaction when it comes to mourning, consoling, just loving on other Sims during the time of death, essentially. So the fifth thing that I noticed was this little interaction right here. So as you can see, I think we're going to be able to have a will and testament. And I'm just going to go back a tad. As you can see, these Sims have money on their mind, and they're looking like, who's getting the money now? And I'm thinking that just based off of this piece of paper that she has in her hand, it really looks like a will to me, maybe like a will and testament about like who's going to get what. And I'm assuming that's something we're going to be able to get in the game, because based off of this interaction, they get disappointed and they get angry about it and they argue about it. So I wonder if that's going to be something that we're going to see in the game with this will and inheritance. It's like these interactions of people bickering about money. So that's going to be very interesting to see if it actually happens. The sixth thing that I noticed in this particular trailer was we're going to be able to do bucket lists. So as you can see with Liv's bucket list, she is at the well of longing and regret, and she's tossing in a coin. And basically, I'm assuming from what we're seeing, we're going to be able to check things off of a bucket list. It's going to be able to give us rewards back, or we're going to be able to do certain things when we complete these specific tasks. So I'm really interested in seeing what this bucket list looks like along the journey, if it's going to get worse. And I think based off of what we're going to see here in a second, it actually does. So we can actually summon spirits, and I'll talk about that more in just a moment. But just to spend a day outside, these little small things that we're going to be able to do, have an otherworldly adventure, actually go out and do certain things to be able to check things off of our bucket list. So I'm really interested in seeing what that looks like in the game, and I'm hoping that it acts correctly, but I'm really interested to see how we can make those interactions fun and how we can spice up our game with this new thing that we have available. So going off of the bucket list, the seventh thing that I noticed, we're going to be able to summon spirits. So I don't think we're going to be able to just do that once. As you can see throughout the trailer, you can see too at the end, and I'll show it in just a moment. I'm going to go find that moment where it happens. Let's see. I think she like summons her father at some point. See, I don't know if that's going to actually happen, but it seems like we're going to be able to summon spirits and talk to them at some point. So I'm thinking summoning spirits is going to be like a big thing in this expansion pack, and just being able to talk to them and interact with them. So the eighth thing that I noticed was we're going to be able to become a spirit ourselves. So as you can see, just based off of this small interaction, she goes into this lake and she turns herself into a spirit, and now we can scare the living. So I'm assuming that we can actually make ourselves a spirit just based off of this lake, or being able to do certain things or interactions we can do to make ourselves a spirit. That's definitely one of the things that I noticed, because I want to scare the living. I think that's going to be really fun to do in the game, and just to walk around as a spirit but then be able to transform back into a human. I think that's going to be super fun. So the ninth thing that I found interesting and that I noticed was that you can turn yourself into the Grim Reaper. I'm thinking that's what you can do, because look at this. She's like playing with cauldrons and magic, and she becomes the Grim Reaper herself. So I'm really interested in seeing what that looks like. It says quit that job. So what is this gonna look like in the game? And is this gonna be like a job? Is this gonna be like something that you can take on as a hobby? And as you can see the Grim Reaper working in the background. Is there multiple Grim Reapers? I don't know if you all can see that second person back here on this iPad, but they're dressed up as the Grim Reaper too. So there's not just one, there's multiple. So I'm wondering if you can just sign up and take that on as a career. That should be really interesting to see in the game. And the 10th thing that I noticed in the background this entire time as I was watching was these new outfits and clothing and the furniture available. So I don't know if you've all noticed in the background, just looking at the furniture, like look how kind of clunky it is, especially like the furniture for the funeral stuff. But even the new clothing, the new hair, there's certain things that I'm noticing, like the build by, even down to like the houses and stuff like that. We're getting some new stuff when it comes to this expansion pack. Right here, like I'm wondering if we're gonna get this new bed, those new windows, fireplace, the hairs, the clothing. So I don't know if you all were watching, but there was definitely a lot. Pictures. We have all kinds of new stuff that we're going to see in this game. If you've made it to the end of this video, I would just like to say thank you so much for sticking around, and I really hope that you enjoyed me talking about the 10 things that I noticed in this trailer. So let me know down in the comments if you agree. Do you think these things are going to be in the actual game itself, or do you think it's kind of just like a teaser? And what are you looking forward to the most? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you in my future content. Bye.